Private Equity Value Creation Strategies, How PE Firms Actually Grow Value. Hello and welcome to Candimentor. Today we're unpacking the three engines of value creation inside private equity, the practical levers that turn a solid company into a high-return investment. You'll learn how PE firms grow EBITDA, improve multiples, and reduce debt, all while driving predictable cash flows and preparing the business for a strong exit. Let's walk through each idea slowly and clearly. Classroom style, mentor tone, TTS friendly. The PE Value Creation Framework. Every PE investment rests on three pillars. First, EBITDA growth, which lifts enterprise value directly. Second, multiple expansion, where buyers pay more per unit of earnings at exit. Third, deleveraging, where the company pays down debt and increases equity value. The journey usually begins with a 100-day plan, leads into disciplined execution and monitoring, and ends with exit readiness. Starting point: investment thesis. Before a deal closes, the fund builds a tight thesis. Why this company? Why now? They look for sector tailwinds, margin improvement potential, and reliable cash flow visibility. This thesis becomes the roadmap for the next 5 years. Operational improvements. Overview. Operational change is the most controllable lever. Here, the focus is on margins, efficiency, and steady cash flow. If EBITDA grows, enterprise value rises, even without changing the multiple. That's why PE teams spend so much time inside the business, not just inside spreadsheets. Cost optimization levers. Cost work begins with the basics. Centralize HR, finance, and IT to cut SG&A. Renegotiate vendor contracts to reduce procurement costs. Apply zero-based budgeting to eliminate waste. Use lean tools in manufacturing and logistics to cut cycle time. Each of these actions expands margins in a measurable way. Revenue growth levers. Next comes top-line acceleration. Pricing optimization. Adjusting prices with data. Segmenting customers. And tightening discount policies. Cross-sell and upsell programs. Expansion into new regions or digital channels. Stronger CRM tools or inside sales teams to win conversions faster. Even small pricing moves can lift EBITDA sharply. Working capital management. Cash flow discipline is a signature of PE ownership. Reduce inventory days, speed up receivables, and negotiate longer payable terms. Better working capital unlocks cash. Cash pays down debt, and debt reduction boosts equity. That's it. Capex discipline. PE firms challenge every Capex request. Only high-return projects get the green light. Non-essential spending is paused. Asset-light options are preferred when possible. This keeps cash flowing toward debt reduction and growth initiatives. Professionalizing management. Strong leadership is non-negotiable. PE firms often bring in CFOs, COOs, or turnaround experts. They implement MIS dashboards, weekly KPI reviews, and incentive plans tied to the value creation roadmap. Better management equals better outcomes. End. Digital transformation technology is now a core lever. Modern ERP systems, automation, workflow tools, and data dashboards create real-time visibility. Even simple automation can reduce errors and improve productivity. Real example of operational value creation. Picture a company with EBITDA of 100 crore. Strong execution lifts it to 140 over 3 years. Even if the exit multiple stays unchanged, enterprise value rises by 40% purely from EBITDA growth. That's operational alpha. Thank you. Multiple expansion overview. Multiple expansion is powerful, but less controllable. It means selling the business at a higher multiple than the one used at purchase. Often, a quarter to nearly half of total returns can come from this lever in top deals. And how PE drives multiple expansion. PE firms can influence multiples indirectly. They improve governance and transparency. They steer the business toward faster growth segments. They increase recurring revenue and lock in long-term contracts. They build platform companies that strategic buyers love. External drivers of multiple expansion. Sometimes the market itself helps. Strong sector demand, a cycle upswing, or strategic buyers chasing synergies all push valuations higher. These forces are external. PE teams watch but cannot control them. End. Multiple compression risk. Multiples can also fall. If the exit multiple drops below the entry multiple, IRR takes a hit. That's why PE firms run downside scenarios early and rely on operational improvements to protect returns. End. Leverage is overview. Leverage is the third engine. By using debt, the fund invests less equity upfront. As debt gets repaid using company cash flows, equity naturally expands. This is the deleveraging effect. When the company performs well, leverage becomes a value amplifier. End. Deleveraging impact. Numerical example. Imagine a buyout funded with 500 crore of debt and 500 crore of equity. 5 years later, debt falls to 200 crore. If the exit enterprise value becomes 1,200 crore, equity equals 1,200 minus 200. That's 1,000 crore. Equity has doubled, even without major multiple uplift. Key leverage metrics. PE teams track several ratios. Interest coverage, EBIT divided by interest expense, net debt to EBITDA, debt service coverage ratio, and covenant headroom. These metrics ensure leverage remains safe. Risks of high leverage. High leverage cuts both ways. Cash flow volatility increases default risk. Interest rate spikes raise financing costs. And high debt can limit growth Capex or M&A opportunities. That's why leverage must be matched to business stability. End. Pricing power, underrated value lever. Pricing is often the quiet superstar. Premiumization lifts margins. Dynamic pricing engines improve revenue yield. Tighter discount management increases EBITDA almost instantly. This lever often delivers quick wins. Add-on acquisitions, M&A as a value lever. Buy and build is a classic strategy. Acquiring smaller competitors boosts scale, allows cross-selling, and often increases exit multiples. It grows both EBITDA and strategic value at the same time. End. Governance and controls. Strong governance keeps the plan on track. Formal boards, monthly reporting, and KPI dashboards ensure accountability. Everything ties back to the original investment thesis. Therefore, informal. Exit strategy planning. Exit planning begins years before the actual exit. PE teams prepare dual-track options, strategic sale and secondary sale. They clean up working capital, renew major contracts, and package the company's performance story for buyers. A strong exit narrative supports higher multiples. Value bridge, how returns are attributed during exit presentations. Funds show a value bridge. It breaks returns into 3 buckets: EBITDA growth, multiple change, and net debt reduction. This helps LPs understand exactly where alpha came from. Common mistakes PE firms avoid. The biggest pitfalls are predictable. Overestimating margin expansion, paying too high an entry price, ignoring market cyclicality, and misjudging management capability. Experienced PE teams stayed disciplined to avoid these traps. Closing summary. Value creation in PE relies on three combined forces. Operational improvements, the most controllable lever. Multiple expansion, the most powerful but least predictable lever. And leverage, the amplifier when the business performs. Great PE firms win by executing the plan consistently, not by relying solely on financial engineering. Final takeaway. Private equity value creation is a structured playbook. Improve operations. Position the company for a better multiple and manage leverage responsibly. Master these levers, and you'll understand exactly how PE firms generate real, repeatable alpha.